You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. 7 head of the harbor homeowners were told to evacuate their homes. Authorities say the houses are on Mill Creek Road, which was washed out by last month's flooding. Officers say the only road into the narrow hillside neighborhood is too badly eroded for emergency vehicles to pass. So the town wants to build a new gravel access road. Residents are not allowed to stay in their homes until the evacuation order is lifted. And Nassau County officials are laying out their plans to increase security ahead of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit this Sunday. Now, more than 24,000 people registered to attend the event at Nassau Coliseum. Critics say Modi has instituted policies that discriminate against religious and other minorities. Protesters are expected to, and Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman says they are prepared.
We always have free speech zones at all of our major events where we anticipate that there will be opposition and counter-protesters, so there will be provisions made for that. We are aware that it could be a large amount, and we are prepared for that.
Now, officials say SWAT teams, drones, and K-9 units will be on hand. And commuters who use LIRR's Babylon station are dealing with a partial platform shutdown. Alfonso Castillo tells us how long this closure is expected to last.
I'm here at the Long Island Railroad's Babylon station, one of the busiest in the system and one that's pretty old as well. And looking at its age, last rebuilt 60 years ago. And Long Island Railroad officials here today to talk about a new construction effort underway already, major rehabilitation of this station.
It's time to bring this station into the 21st century and create the beautiful transit facility this village and our customers deserve.
Half of the platforms, the western half, now closed, will be closed until May of next year. Then both sides of the platform will be back for next summer, and then the rest of the work begins this time next year, September, with the east side of the platform.
We're replacing 2 escalators, the platform canopy, 2 platform level waiting rooms, and all platform lighting. We're also installing an automated snow and ice melting system and a new communications and security system.
So this work's going to last until the spring of 2026. A lot of love for a station that desperately needs it. Here in Babylon Station for Newsday TV, I'm Alfonso Castillo.
The Army Corps of Engineers is set to begin another major dredging project in Mattatuck Harbor. Now, the project includes dredging nearly 10,000 cubic yards of sand. The goal is to improve navigation for boaters so they don't run aground. Work starts October 1st. And it was all about the dads today at Centennial Avenue Elementary School in Roosevelt. Dozens of fathers and guardians took part in the annual Million Fathers March. The school was one of hundreds taking part in the worldwide event. Now, the initiative celebrates how important it is to have male role models in children's lives.
We want to have the voice of the father pointed for the best and betterment of their children and our society by focusing in on encouraging their children to not only read, write, but be involved in a positive, meaningful way in the community.
He's not wrong. Now, fathers received reading materials to use at home with their kids, too. And Long Islanders looking to secure concealed carry gun permits are rarely rejected. Drew Scott has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
More people on Long Island than ever are legally carrying concealed guns due to a Supreme Court ruling in June of 2022. Steve Karp, a drapery salesman from Dix Hills, says he's glad he now will get consideration for such a permit.
The police can't be everywhere, and I think the more well-trained, legal carrying citizens carrying a firearm, maybe it'll give people a second thought of not doing something.
Newsday reporter Robert Brodsky says the permits still require background checks and training.
There's been a flood of applications. This is in a period of just a little over 2 years on Long Island. More than 17,000 Long Islanders to date have been approved for a concealed carry permit. This is to carry a firearm on their person in designated locations.
Here at Guardian Guns and Ammo Training in Deer Park, the owner, Matt Seifer, tells us there's been a 45% increase in the requests for training connected to concealed carry permit applications. Seifer says the demand is so great, he's building a range in his Deer Park store for training.
We've seen a huge increase. Yeah, it was exponential. It's leveled out to a point now where we see on the average of about 25% increase month over month over month.
Rebecca Fisher, who heads New Yorkers Against Gun Violence, says research shows that the more people that are permitted to walk around with concealed, hidden, loaded guns, the more likely there could be harm done to others. Nassau and Suffolk County report of the more than 17,000 permits issued, less than 3% have been rejected. Dix Hill's chiropractor Jason Bernhack says a carry permit, or CCW, is very sobering business.
I remember the first day after getting my CCW, loading my weapon, putting it on me, taking it to work. It was definitely different.
In Deer Park, Drew Scott, Newsday TV.
Now you can read more about this story. Just go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. And first in Newsday, a possible game changer for farmers on the East End. All right, so listen to this. We were there as the region's first battery-powered and soon-to-be fully autonomous tractor took to the fields at Pomonic Vineyards last week. Now the tractor costs $90,000, about the same as a new diesel tractor. So the farm has two more on order, mind you, with plans to fully automate its fleet.
We definitely want to begin to decarbonize our operation, and we burn a lot of diesel currently with all the diesel tractors we have. And so even if this is 1 out of 10 tractors, now we're beginning to reduce the amount of diesel that we're consuming.
Now experts say emission-free battery power is not only cheaper, but cleaner, especially when it's fueled by solar power. Now, Newsday's Mark Harrington says it's a big win for farmers.
Right off the bat, I mean, with diesel fuel, it's been up and it's been down. It stabilizes the cost of fuel and also greatly reduces the cost of running a farm. This tractor, and they said just last week it mowed an entire field. Right now it needs someone to be on it to guide it. In a year with autonomous driving, these tractors will be able to mow an entire vineyard on their own using GPS.
Now to read more about this story, make sure to go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. The fall TV season is here, and Newsday's Vern Gay is breaking down some of the new shows.
Fall is here, and that means TV and a lot of it. I'm Vern Gay. Those strikes of 2023 are in Hollywood's rearview mirror. This bumper crop of newcomers is the dramatic proof. Here are 4 shows to watch.
Who's been messing up everything?
The Covenless Witch.
It's been Agatha all along.
We start with Agatha all along. Fans of WandaVision will remember Catherine Hahn's Witch Next Door. She was such a breakout that she now has her own series. This is something of a road show where Agatha forms her own coven as she travels down Witch's Road. The cast is bewitching. Aubrey Plaza, Deborah Jo Rupp, and Northport's Patti LuPone. This is streaming now on Disney+.
I'm gonna walk the road.
Next up, Murder in a Small Town.
Something about small towns, you get to be who you are. Maybe that's why I'm here.
This stars Ross of Sutherland as a big-town cop who comes to a small town on the Pacific coast. He meets up with a local librarian, played by Kristen Crook, and a murder-solving team is born. It's based on the Carl Ahlberg book series. From what I've seen, this could be a winner for the network. The always interesting Sutherland, son of Donald, and Smallville's Crook also make a chemistry-winning team. It airs on Fox starting September 24th. Then there's Grotesquerie, Ryan Murphy's latest for FX.
This killer is someone who knows anatomy. The blood, the
DNA. It was left there for us to find.
With a title like that, it's easy to think of this as just another variation of American Horror Story, except it's not. Here's the log line. A series of heinous crimes have unsettled a small community, and the local detective, played by Niecy Nash Betts, feels the crimes are eerily personal. Travis Kelce also has a starring role. That's right, the Travis Kelce is who or what we'll all find out together. It's on September 25. Finally, let's leave the cheese until last.
Doctor, welcome aboard the Odyssey. This ship is heaven. Our mission is to preserve the dream.
Dr. Odyssey arrives in port on ABC September 26th. The shorthand on this one is Love Boat Meets ER, which seems about right. Joshua Jackson is Dr. Max, who performs medical miracles on a cruise ship at sea. Captain of this luxury liner is none other than Miami Vice's Don Johnson. As cheese platters go, this one sounds irresistible. I'm Vern Gay with Newsday. Read more about these shows and plenty more on Newsday.com. And click Get More below at the Newsday TV video box.
Feed Me is brought to you by PC Richard & Son.
All right, Feed Me's annual list of Long Island's best restaurants is out, and it's shorter this year, but critics say the dining scene is better than ever. All right, from the grandest steakhouses, including Bryan & Cooper in Roslyn, to great noodle shops like Splendid Noodle in Stony Brook, the best restaurants not only serve great food, but deliver personality, style, and charm. We sat down with Newsday's food critics to see how they come up with this list.
Newsday's Feed Me team has just compiled the list of the top 50 restaurants on Long Island, and I get a sneak peek at Salumi's. You guys just did a very important assignment. We're talking about the top 50 restaurants, but I have to address the brisket in the room. How did we go from 100 restaurants to 50?
100 felt like a little over the mark on truly quintessential Long Island restaurants.
When I'm going to a place, if I read a list, I'm going to try to hit those places up. And I thought if we had 50, then I could actually do it.
It was actually more work to put together 50 than 100 because we really needed consensus on all of these places.
Because they're all going to be places that all three of us love.
We got to eat together, we got to break bread together, really get into the weeds about what we liked in real time.
It's actually more eating, more arguing, more deciding.
I can imagine just that experience could be very interesting because you all have very strong opinions about things, but that keeps this really fun, right?
It's really taught me a lot about how other food writers work.
Yeah.
Erica is very into quality, great ingredients. I think Marie, you really like a premium experience. You like a place where you can sit down and you can meet with friends.
And have a drink.
Should we cheers to that?
Andy's strategy of Googling a dish rather than Googling a restaurant is genius.
If I set my sights on a type of cuisine, I will go to every restaurant
literally
of that type of cuisine. I did best Thai, and then from that list, I took the best of the best, and I said these need to be in the top 50.
So you did 50. Well, next year we're going to narrow it down to 25.
God no.
I think we're going to be at 50 for a while.
Cheers to top 50.
Cheers to top 50.
Salud.
Salud.
You can see the full list of Long Island's top restaurants. Go to Newsday.com/top50.
All right, now let's take a look at your Long Island weather. And it's going to be nice to dine al fresco, if you will, because the temps are a little lower. You can see tonight we are in the 60s. Tomorrow we have cloudy skies. We have a lot more clouds. Where that came from, taking a closer look at tomorrow, you can see these are our cloud graphics. And if you miss them here, you can see them overhead all day tomorrow. As for the 7-day forecast, it does get a little brighter on Sunday, but rain moves in during the middle of next week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great weekend.